Hello guys, how are you doing? Here is Daniel from UpSky. For those who don't know, we build custom AI chatbots for clients. In this occasion, I want to show you a new chatbot that we create for a private college. It's called Mavir AI, so let me show you. And pretty much this is a custom AI chatbot for the teachers, so they can prepare their teach lessons, their strategies, and pretty much everything. In this video, I want to show you how we build this tool, how you can build this tool, what's the steps in order to create something like that, what's the technologies that we use in order to finish this project. Okay, the project is in Spanish, but I'm going to explain to you. First of all, this is the main screen. In the main screen, we can watch a few examples. By example, this one is exploring the spatial intelligence, and what this does, or I don't know, maybe mathematics. By example, we can try this one. There is some examples, some templates to prompt the AI chatbot, and it says, please generate activities, exercise, and readings from mathematics. Okay, so pretty much that's it. And if we press this button, the AI chatbot that is connected with the OpenAI API key, it will generate to us, the teachers, what they want. So these can be very useful in order to prepare the lessons, in order to create more content, more useful content for their students. Okay, so as you can see, the bot generates a bunch of stuff. Okay, it's pretty good. It's based on GPT-4, and this is how it works. It also has a stop button, and it also has a chat history. It has a dark mode. You can share the conversation with another person and can see what you talk with the bot. You can regenerate the response, and pretty much that's it. But one stuff that's different from other bots is this one. This one is called in English Mavir method. Mavir method is a specific teaching method from Mavir. Okay, so they create a brand new method in order to teach their students in a better way. Okay, so by example, if you ask like with this turned off, it will generate a very good response, but very general. I mean, it's not specific at all. It's not custom trained. It's not nothing. Okay, the only thing that is custom trained is that the chatbot knows that his name is Mavir AI and is a bot created to help teachers. Okay, that's what he knows. But if you turn on the Mavir method, it will insert a more specific prompt. In this specific system prompt, we explain to ChatGPT API that every step in order to give a response with the Mavir method. Okay, so this is the normal response, but if we regenerate the response, you can ask that now the response, it fragments in different stuff. For example, first of all, the topic, a launcher. The launcher is some way to awake the creativity, the interest in the student, and the way of learn, it's fragmented in different times, in different steps. The first step is exploring, the second is investigate, the third is connect, where the students interchange their results, what they found in the internet, and in the fourth step, the student will receive an I don't know how it's called in English, a guess to think about the topic, to think further and further, and not just learn memorizing. It's more practical. Okay, so we saw how it works, and now we are going to tell you how we build this bot, because it's pretty easy. I mean, it has certain level of complexity, of course, because it's advanced programming, but you can do it without any problem. Okay, so first of all, if we recharge the page, you can see that probably to you, if you're a developer, you already see this screen in another site, because this is the template of Next.js chat-vercel.ai. Okay, so basically Vercel made a template, UI of of their own ChatGPT API implementation. So this is it. I mean, it has the same chat story, clear story, dark mode, bright mode, profile, and same the instructions, the templates, and that's it. But we change a bunch of stuff. As you can see, it's the same template, but we change a bunch of stuff. So what we change? So if you watch this screen, first of all, we make bigger the screen where the message appears, and you can see it's larger. This is shorter, but this is not a very good example to give you because it has not importance at all. But first of all, we add a brand new examples. Okay, so how we add those examples? Okay, when you go to the template, you can go to GitHub, okay, and use this template. I'm not going to explain how to use the template, but basically you can download the code or you can deploy in Vercel directly. I really recommend to deploy directly in Vercel because the template needs a connection with a database. And so if you deploy with this button to Vercel, the database will auto-connect to the project. So you don't have to make any other steps. You just have to program, okay? Change what you have to change, and that's it, okay? So I'm not going to teach you that, but I'm going to teach you when you already have set up everything and you have in your computer, in your Visual Studio Code, in your Fleet Code editor, you can go here and make the changes. So I'm going to tell you where you can make that changes. For example, these are customizable examples. You can find those in here. You only have to go here and search for screen with the project open, with the project folder open. You can search screen empty. So you can go here in the component screen empty. Okay, so there is an array, okay, called example message. At the start there is only 3, but what you have to do is duplicate or edit them and do this. First you have to put a column here, and the heading is the principal one. For example, exploring the spatial intelligence. Okay, so you put in here in the heading what you want to add, and in the message the examples that you want to put in the text box when you click it. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, but in this component you can change that. Okay, perfect. So that's the first change we made to this template. The second change is the footer. We don't want to have this footer. I mean, it's good to have it, but to be more clear on the screen, on the software, we delete it. So you can find it in footer. Okay, so this is the footer.tsx, and I already this is the same footer that we saw in the original template, but you can delete it, and with that you will not have any problem. Okay, and this space will be deleted and it will be in blank. Okay, so that's the second change. Okay. The third, and I guess the most important, because we can saw this. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, you can search for Stripe. Okay, you can, in pretty much all these components that we are watching, they are on the folder components. So you can go to the components and look for header. Okay, so here in header, first of all, we made a bunch of changes. We are talking about CSS changes. We are not going to explain every single change, but that's with add. First of all, the logo and the subscribe button. The subscribe button is pretty basic. It's just an anchor tag with the href, and that's it. Okay, so that's another change. But the most important stuff is the Mavir method, because you can use this in order to create different type of combinations. For example, I don't know, you can turn this on to be more playful, or to be more aggressive, or to be more assertive. I don't know where do you want to use it, or I don't know another example, but this is something a little complicated. I'm going to explain the best that I can, but you really have to put attention. Okay, so first of all, we built the component. Okay, the interface component. Okay, the interface component, we built it inside of a Mavir switch. It's a switch. Okay, we used the same UI kit that they are using, and that's it. Shade CN UI. You can look for it in UI Shade CN. Okay, so is this one is switch button. Okay, component switch. So it's already installed into the project, but you have to import it. Okay, so first of all, you import the switch from the UI switch component, and you have to do the next. It's pretty basic. It's just a div with some styles, the text to say what's that switch for, and this is the switch component. Okay, so in order to give the instruction to our API to use non-prompt at all or use the Mavir method prompt, we had to do something with Redux. Redux, for those who don't know, I'm very simplifying Redux, but it's a way to store variables, global variables. Okay, so by example, local global variables that can change, and that state of that variables change in every single page, in every single folder of your application. Okay, so first of all, in order to share to our API that we want Mavir method or not Mavir method, we are going to check our API root. That's API chat root. In here, we have dot stuffs. One constant for the use for the text. Mavir method Mavir prompt. That is the text prompt. Okay, for the Mavir method. Okay, and the no method is just a blank space. Okay, so we declare a variable, a misspelling, but prompt, that's the variable, and we make an else if statement. So if method is the one variable that we are requesting from our body, I'm going to tell you more about, but if method is true, the prompt value will be method Mavir prompt, but if it fails, it will be no method, and every else it will be blank space. Okay, so the prompt method receives the information or the statement based in if method is true or is false. So if it's true prompt, it will be method Mavir prompt, this one from here. So this is the constant where we declare what configuration we have to use to call the OpenAI API key. Okay, so as you can see, we declare GPT 3.5 Turbo, and we pass the array of message that we already have been talking about, and the content. In the content is the system prompt. Okay, as you can see, the role of this content is system. You can see there is some basic prompt, but if you can see this, we added with a $sign and some of these. We passed the result of this else if comparison. Okay, so from where we got this method variable. Okay, so if we go, because this method variable is what the API receives and reads in order to know if it's false or if it's true. Okay, so we can go to where it was in chat.tsx. In chat.tsx is pretty much where from client we send the request to the API. Okay, so we are using the OpenAI, I mean the AI kit from Vercel. Okay, so in one of these methods we can pass the body. In the body we can send pretty much whatever we want. So I add a variable called method that has the value of method. Okay, so this method is what we send to our API, but we have here another method, and from where we receive this method, from a global variable, and this is why we need Redux. Okay, so as you can see, we are defining method, and method is equals to use selector state root state counter value, and from where we got those values from our Redux global variables. Okay, first of all, we import this, the use selector that help us in order to access to the Redux store, and we import also the root state. Okay, and the root states are the information that we need in order to to know what's inside. Okay, so we have to go back to Mavir switch. Here in Mavir switch is where we declare if it's true or false. So switch. Okay, so on checked change, I mean when we press down the Mavir method, it will call the function handle switch change, and in handle switch change, it will dispatch the toggle action in order to update the boolean value. Okay, so with this we passed to global redux here in store. No, I mean in counter slice if it's boolean or if it's false. Okay, in order to install Redux, you have to grab all your application into a provider Redux tag. I'm not going to talk about, but I'm telling you how we made this. Okay, so if we go back to Mavir switch, pretty much the question is the next. When you are here, you activate the Mavir method. In the Mavir method, it will call the function handle switch change. Handle switch change will call this method dispatch toggle. In dispatch toggle, we calling use dispatch, and in use dispatch, that is a function from Redux, we update the value in the global application. So because we grab our entire application in the provider tag, we can access to the value of that variable from chat.tsx, and here here we can receive if the switch is active or inactive. Okay, so if it's active, it doesn't have nothing, but the method value will send his value to the method body, the method request. Okay, so when you click to generate another message, the body will, when you click, okay, all of this sends a request to the API. So if you go to API chat root, the API first of all does next, receives the constant method by example, and with that we define a new variable that takes the value if something is true or fails. So if the switch is on, the method it will be true and prompt will take this value, and if it fails, prompt will be declared as false. I mean prompt will be declared as false, yes, and it will use this one, no method, so it will be a blank and it's not going to affect us to nothing. And with that, the request to OpenAI API change, like here, right here. Okay, so I don't know if I get to explain to myself, but that's pretty much what we make. That's everything. We also change because in the template you have to access and log in with GitHub, but we change it to login with Google. It's pretty much, if you need also to install Google instead of GitHub, you can watch my code and copy and use it. It works the same. Pretty much you just have to change providers, give the client ID, client secret. You also have to create an application in your Google console and change the providers, but pretty much that is. So thank you for being here. If you have any further questions, you can ask me in the comments below, and thank you. If you are interested in get yourself a customizable and full functionable AI chatbot for your business, and you can integrate into your landing page. You can use it for a bunch of purposes. For example, this one is a tool for the teachers, but if you want to, I don't know, to have a bot that talks with your language students to help them in order to learn a new language more easier, you can do that too. Okay, so if you have any questions, you need to contact us. Feel free to do it, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.